Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can start using the classic EDDIE Van Halen tapping lick in your own playing. I'm going to show you a couple of quick tricks and tips so you can start using that in your own solos and improvisation. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to do it. In this video then, I'm going to show you how you can use that classic EDDIE Van Halen tapping lick in your own solos. But if you haven't done it already, click like to like the video, hit subscribe to subscribe to the channel, and click that alert bell so you don't miss any updates. If you'd like a PDF workbook with everything that I'm going to talk about in this video, all written out in tab annotation, you'll see a link below in the description. So make sure you click that link to grab that workbook. And let's get stuck right in. So this lesson, we're going to bass in the key of A. And it's going to be based in A minor. So if you're ever having to do an A minor solo. So if you're ever having to do a solo in the key of A minor, in a rock setting, this is the kind of thing you can do. So the scale shape that we're going to be using for the basis of this lesson is going to be the A minor pentatonic scale, everybody's favorite scale on guitar. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using that scale for our fretting hand, and then we're going to be tapping in another place with our picking hand. So what we're going to be doing in this video essentially is we're taking advantage of the fact that there are 3 straight lines in every key. What I mean by that is, if this is new to you, in every major key and every minor key, we have 3 straight lines down the fretboard that you can play all the notes. So in the key of A minor, a natural minor, this is not going to be work if you're going to be thinking of Dorian or anything like that. This is for A natural minor only. We have 3 straight lines. So we can play every single note in the 5th fret, every single note in the 10th fret, and also every single note in the 12th fret. Now, some of those notes are outside the pentatonic scale, but that doesn't matter. It's all still within the A natural minor scale or the A Aeolian scale. So what we're going to be doing then, we're going to be using our fretting hand. We're going to be using an A minor pentatonic shape, but we're going to tap just for this lesson in the 12th fret. So that's one of those straight lines in the 12th fret. So for example, you're playing a solo in A minor. You want to get in some tapping. You can do it like that. So all I'm doing then is I'm going to fret all the notes, A minor pentatonic with my fretting hand. For now, it's just going to be the B string. And I'm going to tap with that classic Van Halen tapping lick that we learned in another video on the 12th. We can do the same thing on the E string. So again, I'm using with my fretting hand A minor pentatonic. So it's 5/8 on the high E, tapping in the 12th. We can do the same on the B, so it's 5/8 with my fretting hand, tapping on the 12th. Continuing down the scale, we're going to do the same thing. It's going to be 5/7 this time, still in A minor pentatonic, tapping on the 12th. Same exact thing on the D string. Exactly the same thing then applies to the A string. And then the same thing applies to the E string, but we have to change our finger. Thinking again, A minor pentatonic is going to be 5/8. Okay, so if I'm a solo in A minor then, as long as I can see the 12th fret straight line, I know I can tap all of those notes. So again, I could be playing a solo. And that's the G string one. So I'm tapping on the 12th, playing 5/7. Continue my solo. Tapping on the 12th. Finish my solo. Okay, so I can get those licks in then, rather than just knowing it as it was like a separate lick, just a tapping thing. I can start introducing these tapping ideas into my solo and improvisation. You can also do them pairs or 3 strings at a time, so I could do something like this. Where I'm just going between the E and the B. I could do the same thing. I could maybe go to the G string this time. Or whatever. It's more of an idea that you know the lick, but I'm just showing you how you can get that into your own solos by just seeing, okay, if this is my A minor, pentatonic, that's what I'm using for my solo. The 12th fret, you have a straight line and you can tap all of those notes, which is amazing news because it just means this hand, our tapping hand, doesn't really have to move. It just sort of stays in that straight line if you wanted to jump between strings. Now, I guess you're wondering, how on earth am I going to think of that if my solo's in G minor? How am I going to know quickly where this straight line is with the tapping hand? Well, the key to it is just knowing your root note on the A string as well. So when I'm tapping in a straight line in A minor, there's my 12th fret, as I said. There is my root, my A note on the A string. So wherever your root note is on the A string, you have a straight line in that fret. So there's my A note, and I know I can tap a straight line there. So if I moved to G, all I need to do is find my root note, the note G on the A string, and I know I can tap in the straight line. So it's the 10th fret, there it is. So I can tap all of those notes. So I can play a G minor pentatonic with this hand, my fretting hand, and just tap in the 10th fret. So let me just show you how that sounds. So again, it's tapping in the 10th fret with a G minor pentatonic with my other hand. Okay, that's just the top half. I could go down. Okay, let's change key again. Let's say we had something in E minor. Now, you might think, well, I don't want to tap so low. I need to go up high. So we're going to go to our E minor pentatonic. Okay, again, find the E note on the A string. So there it is. Right up the dusty end of the neck. Fret number 19. Now I can tap all of the notes in fret 19 with the E minor pentatonic. Okay, so using that trick I've shown you in this video, you can get that Eddie Van Halen tap-in idea into your own solos in any key, which is amazing. And even if you need breaks before and after it, so say, again, I'll go back to A minor, I was soloing. You have to stop a sec, set yourself up. You know, and you need little gaps like that. That's fine to start with. Eventually, it's going to be a lot more flowing, kind of like Eddie did. Well, will we ever do it like Eddie did? I don't know, as he is the master of this stuff, to make it just sound just so amazing in his solos. That's the one thing which I still, when I listen to Van Halen records, I still really appreciate, is just, number one, the solo writing, that he created this stuff, the way he uses his tapping in such a musical way, and it's just the sort of the energy and the vibe throughout all his solos is absolutely amazing. So we can try and emulate and we'll get close, but no one will ever be Eddie, in my opinion. And I certainly try, and I feel like I get sort of like a poor man's version, which is good enough for me. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that lesson. If you want the workbook with everything I've talked about in this lesson, you'll see a link below in the description, so make sure you grab that. If you haven't done it already, click like to like the video, hit subscribe to subscribe to the channel, click that alert bell so you don't miss any updates. If you want more lessons and courses from myself, I have an online guitar school called Fretlix, www.fretlix.com. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon.